Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Yes, and this is the show that never ends. And it's also the bloody tour that never ends as well. My poor car, I've had to buy a new car. I'll pick it up tomorrow, I think. It's a Hyundai. Do you know what a Hyundai is? That's Hyundai, spoken in squirrel. So it's a Korean company called Hyundai, but when you pick up the phone, some woman from Southampton says, "Hello, Hyundai." What? Hyundai. Can I have a Kia, please? I want to buy a Kia. Yeah, so I'm going to get one of them cars called a Santa Fe. It's like a poor man's Land Rover that doesn't break down. You can insure it, and it doesn't get nicked and ends up in fucking Africa. And so there you go. And I'm off up the motorway to the plaza in Stockport. So tomorrow night, is it the 29th tomorrow? I can't remember. Anyway, what day is it today? I don't know. Anyway, who are you? What am I doing here? Yeah, I'm going to Stockport tomorrow, up the motorway. And I've not been to that little theatre in Stockport for years. The last time I was there, I had a shouting match with a member of the audience who had a flat cap and one of them old pints in a jug, you know. I asked him if he's got his pigeons under the table, and, well, that's how the fight started, Your Honour. But so I didn't know much then. I was a young London comedian who thought that Northerners were all Eskimos, but we're all friends now. I love going to the north of England to work. And a lot of people say to me, why don't you come to the north more often? Why don't you play Manchester? Why don't you play Newcastle? Why don't you do Sheffield? Well, they are normally run by lefty councils that don't want someone like me playing there. Or it's run by theatres. Maybe the manager doesn't like me. Maybe, you know, he's light on his feet and didn't like my idea of the GBDHQFCHDSCIJKLMNOP. What is it with people's letters after their names? I read today that woman saying, we're placing too much stuff on mental illness. You know, so anyone who's got letters after their name, any little kid who's a little fucking shit and goes and kicks your cat and smashes your window, oh, we can't help it, he's got DFC. Oh, for fuck's sake. Blame mental illness for poor behaviour. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. It's all about, no matter how much the audience in the area want to see me, one person who runs it, I'll give you an example. The Mayflower Theatre in Southampton. When the bloke took over it from the other manager, he said, and Jim Davidson will work here over my dead body. I've always sold that out over the last 20 years. It's one of my best gigs. He won't let me play it because he doesn't like me being there. Perhaps you'd like to drop him a line. But anyway. If you want to see me, I'm at the O2 in Southampton, you know, a proper venue that allows people to go there and ply their trade. It's crazy, you know. Sometimes, you know, if the theatre owner takes a dislike to you. Oh, I'll tell you what happened once as well. I was in not Hemel Hempstead, somewhere, I can't remember, Royal Tunbridge Wells. And I asked the young girl to put the lights on, to put the lights up a bit, because one part of the stage was dark and people were shouting, "Can't see you." So I said, "Okay, can you turn the lights up, please?" And they didn't do it. "Can you turn the lights up, please?" No, didn't do it. "Can you turn the light?" There you go. "Thank you. Can you turn the lights up?" She wouldn't do it. So I went to the wings and said, "Can someone," there was no one there, but I just began, "Someone turn the fucking lights up." And she put every light on in that theatre full on. You could hear the dimmers actually buzzing. People all turned into non-squirrel speakers. They were all red and burning, and that was it. And she left them on for the whole gig. And when I went to go back, they said, no, we're not having him back here. He's upset our staff. Now, please, someone tell me what that is about. Anyway, so and of course, a lot of the other big corporate companies that own these theatres, for instance, Torquay, I've been playing there for 30 years, and because some secretary or some woman in headquarters said, "Oh, we don't want him here, we don't like the way he's sexist and racist," and never been to theatre in her life probably, just sits there and moans. So I don't go there, I go to Babacombe instead, round the corner, but it is a shame. And these are the big corporate companies, so I don't play Manchester, I don't play this, I don't play that. Ambassador Theatre Group won't let me play any of their theatres. Why is that? Don't they like the people there? Or are they protecting them? Is that what it is? They're doing them a favour. It's a fucking shame, really. It is a bloody shame. Listen, I've got enough money and enough work to carry on forever in some of the theatres. There's really, really good theatre companies. And I must go out my way to mention one. It's a company called Trafalgar. They're a relatively new company, and they are brilliant. They sell tickets great, their websites are great, their ticketing, their advertising, just first class. And listen to this. There's a great theatre in Dartford called The Orchard. It's lovely, with 992 seats. Perfect, everyone a good seat. Great. Well, they found out it's got that crumbly rock in it, so they shut it down. Health and safety shut it down. So what did the Trafalgar Group do? They only built another one next door to it, that's all. 1,000 people sitting in it, state-of-the-art electrics, just fantastic. I did it a while ago. And it's like an arena, and they knocked it up in 6 weeks. That's fantastic, isn't it? I'd like it to stay up, actually, as much as I like the old theatre. Yeah, so there you go. This is the theatre world. So when people say, why don't you play Edinburgh? Well, I'd love to play Edinburgh, but the place says, oh no, we don't think we want him here. We don't want filth and shite and people who vote Conservative or Reform. Anyway, so I'm driving up to Doncaster, hopefully in my new car, and then driving back from Doncaster, and then 2 nights in Stevenage at the Gordon Craig Theatre, and then back to my old stomping ground. I'm only going back to the Circus Tavern in Essex, that's all. And you know, the thing is, the governor phoned me up and said, Jim, about your act. I said, well, I thought he was going to tell me to keep it clean. Old Peter, he said, you will filthy it up a bit, won't you? Like the old days. I said, yes, I will. Don't you worry about that. Right, what's happening in the world? Well, there's been a big race on to see who's going to be the most woke people in the world. I don't think they'll be winning a prize to go to America, or if they do, Trump won't have them there long. But this is now, the BBC and ITV are neck and neck in the woke stakes, because ITV's Good Morning, and as ITV's Good Morning bringing up the rear, and here's the Good Morning people and all this old lefty present, and the BBC are fighting back with another Comaneci, and oh my God, it drives you mad. So Good Morning Britain and its wokey left-wing presenters are, quite rightly, in the absolute shit with people after erasing what word do you think they erased from their report about the Holocaust? Let's have a think. They didn't mention, I'm going to say it louder now, Jews. They did not mention the Jews, of which millions were killed, murdered, tortured, their lives changed by the Nazis. They say that, don't they? We were at war, people still say this, when we were fighting the Nazis in the war. Were we fighting Nazis? I thought we were fighting Germans. Oh, no, they were Nazis. Oh, so we were fighting, not a country, a political party. So when we bombed all their homes and their factories, we were bombing Nazi factories and Nazi families, not Germans. So the Argentinians, those brave soldiers who lost their lives fighting against the Conservatives, weren't they? Really? It's bollocks. It's Germans. Germans started the fucking Second World War. We won, and now to be nice to them, we've called them fucking Nazis. How can you be nice to someone calling someone a Nazi? Anyway, I don't know what's happening. Hi, Elon. Everything good? Right. I'm not saying he's a Nazi. He has just donated $100 million to a Jewish Holocaust memorial type fund, which is good. And I don't for 1 minute believe he did that because he's been accused of being a Nazi. I just think he's a very, very generous man. I like people that share things out, don't you? Like STDs. Anyway, I watched yesterday the clips of some bird on ITV. Her name's Ranivir. Right, Ranivir, well, it's probably just got the one name. She was commentating on the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Nazi death camp. People who were Nazis but spoke German, looked German, had funny things, and ate bratwurst. Anyway, she was talking about the camp. Did you notice that our king went? King Charles. It doesn't surprise me at all that he was the first monarch ever to visit that place, because he's such a caring man. Anyway, it was ridiculous. Her coverage, absolutely fucking ridiculous. She managed to get through the whole segment without ever mentioning the word Jews. In her opening link, this is what she said. 6 million people were killed in concentration camps during the Second World War because they were Polish. Oh, I don't know why she's speaking like Cliff Richard, but there we go. It was her. So listen to this. 6 million people were killed in the concentration camps during the Second World War because they were Polish, disabled, gay, gypsies, or belonged to another ethnic group. Really? Listen, Ron Veer. 6 million Jews were murdered. Little kids murdered by the people that called themselves Nazis. So come on, Ravnir, get a grip. Get a grip. What's up? Why couldn't you say it? Here we go. Jews, 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 Jews. We are the Jews. All together, everybody. Jews have no, don't be afraid of Jews. Jews are wonderful people. They don't bite. But you couldn't blame them, could you? You couldn't blame them for biting. We're totally disrespected like this by the BBC and ITV, all of them. BBC. It's only because ITV beat them to it that the BBC didn't have a go as well. Absolutely fucking shameful, reindeer. But listen, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here, and I'm going to give Revan a bit of a hope here. Maybe she was just reading the autocue. And who wrote the autocue? No, it wasn't Jeremy Corbyn. Probably could have been. So are you telling me that this rather important detail, a small detail about Jews, went over the heads of everybody, everyone involved, the scriptwriter, producers, editors, and the presenter herself, so she didn't think it was fucking odd, not to mention the fact that it was Jewish people who were the victims on Holocaust Memorial fucking Day. So come on here, Revan. Look, she's made an apology now, saying, oh, whoops. Oh, whoops. Saying they had critically failed to say 6 million people who died were fucking Jewish. How can you miss that? That was our mistake, of which we apologise. Whoops. It's like commentating on the FA Cup final or not mentioning the teams. Disgraceful. I hope Ofcom's involved. Oh, they probably won't give a shit because they're all fucking lefties as well. It's involving Jews. We don't want to, fucking joke. But why didn't she say something, this presenter? Hang on, can we stop? I'm not reading this. We haven't mentioned Jews. I can imagine a lot of that. Hello, can we stop? Can we stop the autocue for a second? Thank you. Hello? Hello? Yeah, it's Rear Van Dor speaking. Look, I've got the script here, and we're missing a vital thing. Yeah, what is it? Well, I don't know if I can read this, because it doesn't say at the end, we're going now to a commercial break. Unfucking believable, isn't it? Well, shame on them. Shame on them. Right, you want some more shame? This is a report that was commissioned by the Home Office, same thing, about extremism. Extremism, that's the word, isn't it? So following the Southport riots, right, they did this report, and it's just been leaked, and it absolutely shocking what they've come up with. This report suggests the government should class fears over two-tier policing as an extreme right-wing narrative. So if I say there's one set of rules for one people and one set of rules for other people, that's it. I'm a right-wing. That's a right-wing narrative. And the grooming gangs referred to, this is what they were referred to, alleged group-based sexual abuse. An issue exploited by the far right to stir hatred against Muslims. There's no need to stir hatred against Muslims. They're doing pretty well themselves. And with regards to Muslims, I had 6 years in a Muslim country, and it was fantastic. There's no crime there. There is no crime. Probably because it's a government that doesn't allow crime. It's a government that doesn't allow immigrants to come in and basically take over. Let's cast your mind back to last week when I put this on. I put this on by an Indian chap. Let's see him again. A lot of people are asking to see this again. Here he is.
Of Muslim immigration in Birmingham, you wouldn't recognise Birmingham today as an English town, as an English part of another county in Britain. You'd think you're in Pakistan. Now, I've got nothing against the Pakistanis, but if you come into this country, and this is where the failure, we see the abject failure of multiculturalism. Multiculturalism is where these people, where we come in as an immigrant. Now, I as an immigrant came in from India. I haven't brought with me my turban and everything else that goes with some people from different parts of India. And I haven't set up in an enclave and stayed and stuck only with Indian people and then demanded that you change the laws in your country to accommodate me because you're being insensitive to me. And that's precisely what's happened now in Birmingham. You've got mosques all over the place, loudspeakers bursting out with their prayers and their calls in the morning and different times of the day, something that is not the norm in the West. Now, if you want to come into this country, we've got to live by the laws that are in this country. We've got to be sensitive to the country we've come to. We don't want them to be sensitive to us. If you're going to find what's in this country insensitive and offensive to you, then why did you come to this country?
Okay, now why did he mention that? Why did he mention that? So by him saying that, all these leftists are saying, yeah, but it stirs up racial hatred. All the extremists. So when we get extremists marching up the M1, these football thugs, what are these Muslim men supposed to do? They've got to protect their community. Here's a little film of them protecting their community. Okay? All right, you can't blame them for that, but it makes you think the Indian chap's correct. That was Birmingham. What is that about? Do these guys look intimidating? Were there any? No, it takes a lot of working out what is going on in this fucking country. But all I know is activists and mad people and fucking murderers need to be cleared out of this company. Out of this company. Who wrote that? So what's happening in the rest of the world? We'll find out. I'm going to go over to Ustream now and talk about Donald Trump. Oh my God, what is there to say about Donald Trump? I wish we had him here. Okay, go to ustream.com. Sign up now. Sign up now. And I think you've got 2 days left to go to the shop and buy any of the merchandise half price. That includes Cinderella, Boobs in the Wood, Cinderella 2. And we've also made Jim Davidson size extra large condoms. They're like that. Okay, see you over there, folks. Ustream.com. Don't let me down. Did you miss out on my live broadcast? Well, don't you worry about that.
Love and juice, you stupid sod.
You can watch the best bits of myself and Jerry Kay as we give you 40 minutes of non-stop, side-splitting comedy.
He jumped so much, he fell out of his wheelchair.
So head on over to www.ustream.com now and check out Jim Davidson Live, the highlights.